Hi everyone, this is the Politics Induction, and my name is Chris Raymond, and I'm the Program Convener for the Politics Pathways. So today what we'll be doing is we'll talk about some of the requirements that everybody on the degree will be looking at. We'll also talk about some of the possibilities for you to start considering for years 2 and 3. And then at the end, we'll finish talking about some guidance and some things to keep in mind in your first year. So for those of you studying for a politics single honors in a BA, you've got a couple of requirements for semester 1 to make sure that you're signed up for. One of those modules is PAI 1007, Perspectives on Politics. This is an introduction to the philosophy of politics and political theory. And the other module that you've got to sign up for in semester 1 is PAI 1009, Comparative Politics. It's a module that deals with comparing the domestic politics of different countries around the world. You've also got an option to consider in the first semester, World Politics, which is essentially an introduction to international relations, or how countries interact with one another, how they interact with non-state actors, be they non-governmental organizations, international organizations, terrorist groups, so on and so forth. For those of you on the single honors pathway, there are no requirements in semester 2. But you've got a range of options within the school for you to consider. One of those is Contemporary Europe, which deals with the history and politics of Europe since the end of the Second World War. Module Issues in Contemporary Politics, which talks about a range of different topics. The contents change from year to year, designed to show how the content that you're learning on various modules relates to real-world contemporary events. And then another option for you to consider within the school is a module, Sustainability, Climate Change, and Just Energy Transitions, which, as the title implies, deals with the topic of climate politics and talks about a number of the challenges facing governments around the world. You can also opt to take an optional module outside of the school, but the two requirements that you've got to take are both in semester 1. For those of you taking one of the joint honors degrees in politics, there are two required modules for you to take, both in semester 1, PAI 1007, Perspectives on Politics, the module that I mentioned earlier for the single honor students, and then in semester 2, PAI 1001, Contemporary Europe, again looking at the politics of the European continent since 1945. And then you'll have, for your third module in politics, any of the modules that we talked about, world politics, comparative politics, issues in contemporary politics, or sustainability, climate change, and just energy transitions. In addition to the two required modules and the one optional module that you've got to take in politics, you'll take the 3 modules required and optional in your joint subject, and whatever the requirements are for that joint subject. For those of you taking the International Relations and Politics degree, you've got a few requirements in semester 1. You've got to take PAI 1006, World Politics, PAI 1007, Perspectives on Politics, and PAI 1009, Comparative Politics. And then in semester 2, you'll take both of the modules, PAI 1001, Contemporary Europe, and PAI 1003, Issues in Contemporary Politics. And in addition to those 5 required modules, you'll be able to take one optional module, whether one that's offered here in HAPP or outside of the school. So that way you've got 6 total modules. So a number of things for you to consider going into years 2 and 3. I know you've just begun year 1. This is the first semester. It might seem like a little bit too early, but it's never too early to start thinking about possible ways for you to customize your degree experience in years 2 and 3. So a couple of things that I'd like to draw your attention to. For those of you on the single honors politics pathway, we've got a new option, what we call the quantitative methods exit route pathway. And essentially what this is for those of you who want to gain data analysis skills that you can put on a CV and demonstrate to employers that you're able to analyze real world social science and politics related data and demonstrate that you've got the tools needed for a lot of 21st century jobs. This might be something for you to consider. It requires a series of modules beginning in year 2 that you can take in order to get this on your degree to signal to employers that you've got those skills. In year 3, one could potentially take 6 modules, but we've got a number of possibilities for customizing your experience to take options in place of up to 1 or 2 of those 6 modules. So for those of you who are interested in the dissertation experience, where you produce an extended essay in which you work with a member of staff with a lot of one-on-one supervision throughout the year on a topic of your choosing, this might be an option for you to consider, especially for those of you thinking about postgraduate work. This might be a good way of demonstrating your capability of taking on that sort of research. For those of you who are more career orientated and are thinking about signaling to employers that you've already got real world skills and the ability to apply what you've learned on your degree to the real world, we've got the possibility of internship or placement experience, internship in place of 2 modules, the placement in place of 1 module, in which you can work with a business or organization here in Northern Ireland and get real world experience that you can then put as a line on the CV that really helps to signal to employers that you are very much employable. And then for those of you thinking about, a pandemic aside, getting some experience abroad and getting the opportunity to travel and study in a different location, you have the possibility of going out for a semester abroad. And we've got a range of different partners across Europe. We've got partners in North America, we've got partners in Australia and elsewhere. That again, beginning in the 2nd semester of year 2 or either semester in year 3, you could spend time abroad studying at another university. And it's a really great experience for those of you looking to get international exposure prior to graduation. The last thing I want to finish talking about are a couple of things to keep in mind. I'm not trying to scare anybody with this, but these are things to keep in mind so that way, if any problems arise, that we can solve those as soon as possible. So the thing to keep in mind is you've got to take at least 6 modules during your first year, and in order to move to level 2, you must pass at least 5 of those modules. If you're not able to pass at least 5 modules, then you may have to repeat a module in the following year before you're able to move to level 2. And so we've flagged this to you in order to signal to you that we've got a range of different possibilities of helping you overcome any sort of difficulties that are interfering with your studies. So if you find that you're having trouble on 1 or more of your modules, get in touch with us. We've got a range of different supports available to you. Everybody has an advisor of studies that you can get in touch with to signal that you may be having trouble. They'll be able to point you in the right direction for getting a range of different services that we provide, whether it's in the school or across the university, to try to mitigate any problems that you might have on one of your modules prior to the conclusion of the semester, or if there's a problem that does affect you throughout the entire semester, we can point you in the direction of finding ways to mitigate the impact that any circumstances you might have outside of the university will have on your studies to make sure that you don't come into any trouble that prevents you from progressing forward. So thank you for your attention and best of luck on the upcoming semester.